Hello everyone, Horst here again. Just got back from my vacation over Thanksgiving. Figured I would post a couple of replays from my glorious comeback tour. I played like 15 games in a row. Mixed results, time off kind of dulls you, but I have a PvZ against a 2100 Diamond Zerg. This is going to be demonstrating a composition talked about on Team Liquid forums. I don't see it very often though, and most Zerg don't expect it. It's Immortal Stalker Templar with some zealots and sentries thrown in for the hell of it. It's not really common, so people don't know it's coming yet, so they don't really prepare for it, but it works nicely. You start off with a basic 3-gate into fast expand into 6-gate. We'll see that here in just a second. Go back to my view only. My scout doesn't see anything. These are probably the best map. This is the best positioning for Zerg pretty much on this map. It allows him to macro, give some easy expansions if you don't contain him. It can be a nightmare to fight a Zerg on this map in these positions. This Zerg, however, does not take these, but we'll get into that in a sec. Like most PvZ builds, you get your 14 gas. I think I finally scouted him. He was going pool first. Because he went for a pool first, I went for, I make a zealot before I make my core, I believe. Just in case he has a rush of Zerglings coming up, I want to be prepared for it. This pylon I made down here, I'm going to cancel. The only reason I put it down there was so that he would move his drone away, buy me a couple of seconds, without him expanding. But now I have my wall in completed, and he won't be able to scout me anymore with drones. Now he is going for a fast roach warren, which is pretty powerful. With his expand, he can pump out a lot of roaches that way very quickly, so you have to be able to deal with it. 3-gate is usually a safe enough build that you can handle roaches without too much difficulty, so I'm not too worried about this. Just let that peck away at me for a bit. Now if you look at my scouting information, when I scouted him, I did not see an early gas. So I'm assuming he does not have Zergling speed yet. When he doesn't have Zergling speed, your Stalkers are actually faster than as fast as Zerglings. So you can micro against them. So you can go in, push, scout around. I see a bunch of Zerglings coming at me. That's actually what I want to see. I want to see him making units. I don't want to see him making drones. So I know he's not pumping his economy as hard as he could be at this point. This is good news for me. You can see he's making more Zerglings. He's hoping to contain me. Well, you did see the fast warp gate going down, so it's possible I'm doing a 4-gate. This does look a lot like a 4-gate build because you do get a lot of gateways and warp gates, so you have to be prepared for a 4-gate. Being prepared means he will have less drones, which is good. So around 6 minutes, I usually throw down a forge. In about 30 to 40 seconds, I'll be expanding. I started warp gate tech slightly late because I used the gas for a stalker first instead of the gate, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll just need some chrono boost love. And the warp gates are getting closer to completion. If we look back over at the Zerg camp, we can see he's doing all normal things. He's getting expansions up. He's getting for layer tech. Possibly mutalisks at this point. We don't know. We can't be sure. He's making spore crawlers. I'm not too sure about that. Phoenix Harass has become pretty popular in the metagame, so I guess it's a decent enough idea. And at around 7 minutes, throw down the expansion. A bunch of sentries out. I feel pretty confident moving out with this force because if you encounter roaches, you can always force field and run. It won't be too bad. He won't have roach speed yet. He didn't have Zergling speed there, you can see. So I'll just push in, see what he's up to. And I see some roaches and a spine crawler. Not many roaches. It means mutalisks might be possible. It also means he's probably teching to something, so I can assume he has lair. I do research hallucinate, even though I don't use it in this game. I forgot I researched it. It's something I'm trying to mess with. I see a lot of pros do hallucination scouting with Phoenix. I need to remember I actually researched this ability. I'm just realizing it now watching the replay. Oh well. More spine crawlers. He saw my army. It looked big. I think he knows I expanded. He does not, actually. So he might still think an all-in 4-gate is coming. But once you get that expansion up, you want to throw down another 3 gateways. for a total of 6 gates. You want to get your +1 weapons and +1 armor very quickly. That way you can have a decently powerful army. A lot of people say Protoss Tier 1 and Tier 1.5 are underpowered, but honestly, you can hold your own against most things with it if you have enough units and a balance of units. So at about 11 minutes, you want to push out. 11 minutes is the time that Mutalisks start to come out. You can see I'm expecting Mutalisks and putting down some cannons here so he doesn't instantly kill me as I push out if he comes back with Mutalisks. I don't want to lose my entire economy to it. Now my gateways are up. I can pump out some more units and move out around now. We're just going to go set up shop right here. Throw down a proxy pylon here. Now he is starting to expand. He sees my attack coming. He cancels it. Not sure if I agree with the cancellation, but I mean, I haven't scouted it yet. I'm probably not going to scout it because I am busy killing his main. Now this attack would probably be powerful enough to kill him if he went Mutalisks. He'd have mutas, I could force field the Zerglings out and use everything to focus fire down Mutalisks while the Zerglings just run around in stupid little circles while the Zealots deal with them. So he really needs to go Hydras to hold this off, and he did. So he'll be able to hold me back without a problem. Now that I have a sizable army, I'm going to push in. Look at the army size tab. I do have an advantage, but he has high ground there. I don't have vision. I'm not going to let Hydras whale me, so I'm just going to pull back. Now when he comes back to follow me, the force field's trapped the Zergling, so he can't get too many in contact with me. Guardian shields reduce damage incoming to my units. I'm able to hold back his attack. I can warp in constant reinforcements. I'm putting some photon cannons to fortify a fallback point. Cannons have great DPS for their cost. Now he doesn't know that I'm not sitting out here, and if he pushes out right now and I'm sitting right here, I can do some serious damage with force fields. So he wants to wait until he knows he has an army advantage in order to push. So I have time to go back and kill my rocks and my gold so I can get my own gold up and I can out macro him. Now because I saw Hydras, I'm starting my Templar tech. Templar tech is obviously incredibly good against Hydralisks. Also, it's not as vulnerable to counters as Colossi tech. Zerg really doesn't have a hard counter for the Templar. I mean, sure, they can do things like go Roach with Burrow, but that doesn't really do anything other than soft counter the Templar. It absorbs our attacks. But now back to containing him. Army, I still have an advantage. Definitely have a resource advantage now. Look at units lost. I won the battle. The reason his income is so much lower than mine is because he sees all these units out here, and that's putting a lot of pressure on him. He thinks that if he doesn't keep building units, he's going to lose the game, and he might. So he's not going to be free to drone up. Now he tries to expand over here. That's pretty good. Expand over here. Zerg really need a lot of expansions to flourish. If you look at the production tab, you can see I'm starting to research Psystorm finally, and he's getting Roach upgrades, which is good. You really want the Roach speed. Roaches are very powerful units. Now he's going to try to break out here. Check the army size tab. He actually caught up and is fairly even with me in army size. Force field out the bigger units, deal with the little ones. See, a lot of his army is trapped here doing absolutely nothing to me, while I can focus on smaller parts. Trapping these near so the Zealots can get them so they can't kite. Create like a little prison for these roaches that aren't running anywhere. Keep warping in reinforcements. Fight at the photon cannons when you can help it so that the cannons can help out with their better DPS. When it looks like you're about to be overwhelmed, fall back to the cannons and warp in reinforcements. Well, these spine crawlers are doing a lot for him. They're doing the same thing for him that my cannons are doing for me. At this point, we both lost an awful lot in that attack. I lost slightly more because he is at tier 2 and I was using tier 1 units. But by now, in production, I finished Psystorm. So if he tries to attack me, I can deal with it very well. I do have some Templar out here gaining energy. Finally got my gold up. And around this time is when you want to grab a 4th expansion, or a 4th base. Now he still doesn't know that there's nothing there. He thinks my army might be there, and if he moves out again without having a sizable army, I can just force field and kill everything he sends out. So he's, again, just pressured